American greatness is a lie. You know, on vacation this week, it really hit me when I saw so many white Trump supporters running around with all their nationalism. Freedom, freedom, freedom. Second Amendment. Oh, freedom. And all that crap. I'm so sick of it. And it hit me when I was at Universal Studios. I was doing the back tour lot. And I saw this iconic building where I think it was like Spider-Man was made or something like that. And you're like, oh my gosh, I remember that from the movie. And you drive around. And you know what's on the back side? Nothing. It's a lie. It's not a real building. It's meant to look like a building. And that's what America is. It has this big sign in front of it. We're the best in the whole universe. No one's even close. And if I ask any of you white people to what we're great in, what are you going to say? Freedom. What? Do my kids have the freedom to go to school, not be afraid to be shot? Or not to do an active shooter drill? Do women have the freedom of going in a dressing room and not being afraid and have the freedom of make sure that Donald Trump's not going to rape them? How many of you fake-ass Christians voted for a rapist president? Because you didn't see that as a red line. They don't have the freedom to turn on the news and not listen to a rapist and relive their trauma because you don't give a shit about them, do you? How many people have lost their health care? They don't have the freedom to have health care. You don't give a shit about their freedoms because you don't. You don't care about anybody. You only care about yourself and owning a fucking gun. And it's interesting how you guys are so stupid you can't even read the whole Second Amendment, right? Because that's what this is about. You're just idiots. Shall not be infringed. Oh yeah, look, grunt style, guns, yeah. Well-regulated militia dumbasses read the whole fucking thing, but you don't. Waiting periods, background checks, make sure they're safely stored. Oh my gosh, oh, I'm such a patriot. We're the best, but I'm not going to make sure my guns are properly stored. I'm going to leave them on the table, and my kid that's had a bad day can pick them up and shoot someone at school because freedom. You're not fucking patriots and you're not Christians. And you know the difference, which is interesting, is that I own a 6-hour P320. And if there was some way that I could be guaranteed that one kid would not die in a school shooting, I would walk barefoot through broken glass. And it would be somebody that I didn't even know, someone that I would never meet. Because that's what you're supposed to do. That is actual patriotism. It's loving the country, it's loving the people. It's caring about other people that you don't know. That's what fucking patriotism is. You know what's fascinating? When people ask me why I get so animated and pissed off, Paul, you don't even know these people. Why? Why do I have to know somebody to give a shit about them? E. Jean Carroll that Donald Trump raped, I don't know her, but I care about her. I don't know any of the victims at Epstein Island, but you know what? I make videos and I'm fighting for them. That's fucking patriotism. I speak all the time about the officers of January 6th that committed suicide and their families. About the women that lose their lives because Roe versus Wade was overturned. It's funny how I'm fighting for everyone else in this fucking country. And I voted for Vice President Harris. Was she perfect? No. But you know what? I voted for women's rights. I voted for health care. I voted to raise minimum wage, to help people in college loan debts. And you know what? I paid for my own college. But I'm not a selfish bitch like you people. I'm actually wanting people to have a better life. They're not lazy. They just need some help. But you people won't even do the bare minimum to do anything for anybody. And you just want to run around like a bunch of fucking alcoholics and you need more patriotism, more nationalism, more nationalism. I need more guns. I need 85,000 flags and 4 billion guns because I'm a patriot. No, you're not. You're a white nationalist. You've never loved this country. If you actually looked at this country the way that I do, and actually see it for what it is, you would see it's actually pretty disgusting the way this country was founded. First, we kicked off the Native Americans, murdered a lot of them. Then we kidnapped black people. Then the founding fathers, by the way, they owned black people like fucking pets, designed this country, what? To benefit 21-year-old land-owning white men. And that black people were worth 3/5 of a person. They couldn't vote for the first 200 years. Just think about that. For the first 200 years, a demographic of people, just because they were born black, couldn't fucking vote. But just ignore that. And you're the same racist pieces of shit that are triggered by Black History Month. Oh my God, God forbid that the sun doesn't come down on your little white ass every day that the world doesn't revive around you. Why don't we have Veterans Month? We do, dumbass. The problem, that's the problem, right? Because you don't actually want diversity. You just want it to be white, like 1776, probably back to 1619. That's what you really want America to be. You should just run around with Confederate flags and white hoods because that's what you really want from America. You don't actually love America. The difference is I love the people in this country. I love the country. You love the symbols of it. And you won't do a damn thing to fight for anybody in this country unless it benefits you. You're selfish pricks. And it's really rich as a person of faith. And if you don't like my language, but you voted for a rapist, you can fuck off. And you can go to hell. Because I'm sick of you hypocrites that you go to church with F Joe Biden and Joe and the whole bumper stickers, and you preach about love thy neighbor as thyself. And everything that I've said in this video and everything that I speak about on this channel is about caring for everybody else in this country when things don't affect me. That's what loving thy neighbor is. But you won't even do a background check for a gun. You won't even require a safe gun storage or a waiting period. What do you think Jesus would do? You're damn right he would do something for gun reform, but not you, because you're patriots. No, you're not. You're white nationalists. And right now, I can just hear all of you white trash MAGA, well, he doesn't love America. I criticize America because I love it. It's my home and it's my family's home. And if you don't like that, you can ship your hillbilly asses back to England where you came from and go have some bangers and mash right by the bridge, because I've been over there to the original Mayflower and I've seen the immigration papers. And it's disgusting how many of you are demonizing immigrants, by the way. But you voted for a white man who's a rapist, who defends pedophiles, and is a fucking convicted felon. But somehow the brown people coming from Mexico, they're the real problem with America. You're just racist shits. You don't love America. You love white America. And now you want to take away birthright citizenship. Oh, it's almost like it wasn't about legal immigration. And that brings us to the 2024 election, because that's what this was really about. That's why this country isn't great. 77 million of you pieces of shit voted for a rapist, a man that defends child molesters, a convicted felon who still hasn't conceded the election. 5 officers died after January 6th. Many have long-term disabilities. A man who didn't rent to black people, who was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein, is very likely a child molester, who added $8.2 trillion to the debt, who told you to inject disinfectants and jam UV light up your ass, who questioned the birth of Barack Obama and stole from cancer charities. And you went, I don't know. He's a patriot. No, he's not. It's because he was fucking white. And you people just couldn't stomach a black woman running this country. That's why this country's not great. And now that the economy's going to crap, now what do you hear? Well, real patriots can pay $10 for gas and $15 for gas because we love America. Ah, yes. When the black woman's running, I can't vote for her because gas is too expensive. But when the white man's in charge, oh, this is patriotic to pay $15 for gas. Yeah. That's why America's not great. I want to make America great. And I'm going to share my Colin Kaepernick story because this is part of the reason I do what I'm doing. I was part of the Republican Party. I wasn't very political. But you know, the very little news that I watched when he took a knee, I felt on some level that it wasn't patriotic or that he was crapping on the flag because he wasn't taking a knee. And you know what? I'm embarrassed. I threw out his jersey. And if I can undo one thing in my life, I would redo that one thing. But on the other hand, it also made me who I am today. Colin Kaepernick is more patriotic than any of you white trash MAGA supporters with 6 teeth that voted for a fucking rapist. All of you combined. He's more patriotic because he stood for something. He sacrificed something for other people when it didn't personally affect him. That's fucking patriotism. It's ironic that a black man took a knee, right? But yet he stood for something. And when a white man rapes women and defends child molesters and convicts convicted felons from January 6th that beat police officers because somehow that's patriotic because they're white, and many of them have actually been convicted of molesting little children down to the age of 7 years old. That's your fucking version of great America? May you all rot in hell next to Jeffrey Epstein, and I mean that. Colin Kaepernick is more patriotic than any single one of you because he stood for something and he fought for people. Have yourself a white day.